Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy and I have got another antique thrift haul, so stay tuned. Right, hi everybody, how are you doing? I am here with a probably mostly antique haul, but I think there might be one of the boxes might have been from the flea market that we went to. This is stuff, I believe, stuff that we got on our travels back from Tennessee. So let's get into it. I'm actually, because stuff on this channel is just different now, so I've got my little note cards that I'm writing down when I filmed so that I make sure that I air these in order since I'm filming multiple on multiple days. That's just how life is right now, but I hope that whatever day you're watching this, that you're having a great day so far. And I'll thank you in advance for spending some time with me. Personally, I love watching antique and thrift haul videos. I like seeing it's not cookie cutter, right? Because those of us that are hauling that stuff are finding stuff that maybe you've never seen before, and obviously it's a little different than a Temu haul because I can't put links and so that you can go find it and buy it yourself, but you can do searches on eBay, Etsy, that kind of thing. If you see something you do like, you can kind of get an idea. But we're gonna start with, this was in I don't think this was in an antique store, and I bought all of the ones that she had. She had multiple 30 plus items for $3. So junk journal kits, some of them were kind of wrapped like this with ribbons. Some of them were just in a bag loosely. So let's see what we got. I'm assuming that the ribbon maybe is part of the 30 items, wouldn't you think? I would think. Although most people that make these kits, it says 30 plus, so they at least put 30 as the minimum. Although I will say one of these, because this was one that I was kind of anxious to dig into, so I looked at these in the car right after we got them. And one of the ones that I got had less than 30 items, but all the other ones had more, so it evened out. But I guess if I just bought that one, I would have been short. But my guess is that she made most of these at the same time. And you know how it is, sometimes when you're dealing cards, you accidentally skip one. So it was probably something simple like that. But we got two kind of orangey kind of ribbons. Let me get this tape on here so it doesn't stick to stuff later. I did find my nostalgic TV trivia, so we will do that again at the end. But let's see what she's got in here. If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. I'm trying to broaden with my tags so that I can get more crafty. Not crafty, because antiquing doesn't necessarily mean crafts, but I'm trying to reach that crowd too. And if you're someone who's been following me from the beginning, from when I was doing Temu hauls, thank you for still watching. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so we've got some kind of full-size book pages, probably kind of like from a Mother Goose nursery rhyme kind of book. I love that though, because you get these cool pictures and you could easily cut it in half and make like a little booklet to go in a journal. Oh, and then so a lot of times if you're wanting to create kits like this yourself, a lot of times you'll pick out 4 or 5 books, let's say, in this case, children's books. We've got Frog and Toad, And then you'll break down the book and you'll divide those pages against all of the kits that you're doing that day. So most of these kits I think were probably made at the same time, so they all have similar pages. So that's one possible drawback that a purchaser might have when they are wanting to buy a kit is, am I going to get a bunch of the same thing? But I would say that would be a problem if the person, let's say they put 30 plus pieces, but it's really 4 pieces of 8 different things. I know that's 32, but you know, and so you're not getting a lot of variety. But some people have a big stash of things like I do, and so there are 30 plus things. It may be the same, from the same sources in each pack, but it's not, you're not going to end up with the whole book of Frog and Toad when you're done. So and that's something you don't know until you purchase it. So, but then if you're purchasing from somebody on Etsy, like if you were purchasing from my shop, you would learn how mine work, and then if you liked that, maybe you would keep buying them. So I love these. These are illustrated dictionaries. You guys, I bought a $50 French illustrated dictionary while I was in Tennessee, and this one is not, this one's just English, but I love, this is my favorite kind of dictionary. Now this is really good patina. I love that, but the fact that I can cut out these images, or maybe I cut, you know, cut a block out so I'm getting some text and some image, and then you could back that on a, so I think what I'm going to try to do is cut up my cereal boxes so that I get the cardboard from that, and the inside of the cereal box is just your plain cardboard. So I think that I would try to glue this onto the front side to cover up the whatever the cereal it is, but then the back side would have the cardboard that people could write on, so I could make a tag, and that would be a cheap way to back these. Or you could use, like if you have a digital kit, you could print out, you know, on some heavier cardstock, print out something that you like from that, glue this on, or same with scrapbook paper. Or some people use, they find blank pages in books and then they put that on the back. But yeah, I love getting those. I love those. Okay, then there were pages of this, whatever this came from. I don't know if this would have been a book or what. It's been cut. I can tell it's been cut because it's not a straight line, which makes me think maybe it was a book, but it's cute. I like these kind of retro-y looks. Okay, now I really was excited to get this. This would have been in a dictionary, and well, I've seen these in dictionaries, but you can also encyclopedias too, but these are common in those illustrated dictionaries. So we've got Fruits of America, and it's blank. It's, you know, it's cut a little wonky, so maybe when they were pulling it out of the book it tore a little bit, but I love this. Like this piece right here is worth the $3 in my mind. I know that probably sounds silly, but I love this. One of my favorite types of paper. So then we just got some more. So I guess we ended up with 5 of these in here. And I guess if you're gonna have multiple pages, this is probably a good type to have, just because there's so many different ways you can use this. All right, then we've got stuff from like a medical book, endocrine disorders. So we've got 3 pages. It's a different size, different color, which is nice. And then we have, is this, okay, these are washi stickers. So probably from a Temu like sticker kit, or now TikTok Shop has a ton of these. I really wonder, when you see the stuff on TikTok Shop, have they just gone and bought the stuff from Temu and AliExpress and that kind of thing, and they're just reselling it at a little bit higher price? because it feels like the exact same things that you see on Temu. Okay, then there's an envelope full of all the little things. So you get the envelope as another piece. And then I've got kind of a chipboard kind of thing that probably came from a scrapbook pack. Another envelope. Oh, I love these. So there were some of these in all of them. They're creative child games, but they are animals. And I absolutely love this because you could easily put these in pockets, and it's just, when I think of building a junk journal to sell, for those of you that are watching this channel to get selling ideas, I always think of papers, obviously, with lots of different backgrounds, whether it's book pages or children's illustrated book pages or maps or music or graph paper or ledger paper. All, you know, you want to get a good variety of that, but then it's really fun, and it's kind of like a time capsule almost, how I think of it. And you just, you know, when you can put little things like this in that are visually appealing, in my opinion, and you could back it with something else, or there are so many sites on Pinterest about how to upcycle cards, playing cards. So some people out there that would buy this would be so creative that they'd get their sewing machine out and would do some really cool things with this. So, but just being able to put a variety of this kind of thing tucked in, if you're doing, so there's, okay, so now I'm going off on tangents. There's like 2 different kinds of junk journals that you could buy that are already made. Some are just plain. They just have the pages. They don't have pockets or tuck spots or any of that stuff. It's just the paper, so that the purchaser can add all of those things that they want to add themselves. And so that would be a cheaper junk journal to sell. And then you've got the more expensive junk journal to sell that can range anywhere from $50 to $500 literally on Etsy. It's crazy. But those would have ephemera stuck in different places, so that the person that buys it can use that ephemera however they want to decorate, or they can simply just write on it, you know, as a hidden note in their journal. So I guess I'm telling you guys this in case you guys happen to be new to the junk journaling world. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so that I'm kind of not have my head cut off or not, never mind. But anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to make this educational as well as just a haul. Since oh, I love these. Look at this. So it looks like a photograph. Are they exactly the same? I'll share my soda glass with you. It is exactly the same, but what is it? I can't tell if it's, because it looks like paper, but it looks like a picture. It's even got the same creases. So if it came from a book, one of them is, this one is shinier than this one. I really wonder what the source of that was. Because you can find books all the time that have like reproduction pictures in them that you can cut out, but it's the gloss that's maybe on the back of a magazine or something. But anyway, that's cute. I like those. So I don't know if this was the pack that had less than 30 items in it or not, but that was all that was in this one. But yeah, I was one of the antique stores I went in. Well, actually, every antique store I go into, the people are kind of surprised, because it's probably not common for people to buy a bunch of items in an antique store. But when you're buying paper items, they tend to be less expensive than furniture, obviously. And so when I would check out, it would take them forever to check out. And in fact, one shop I went to, I she got to 33 items and she couldn't add any more in their software. So she had to check me out and then do a new order for the rest of the stuff because their system couldn't handle that much, and she'd never experienced that before. And so she, like some of the others, was like, what on earth are you using all of this for? And I kind of try to judge how they'll react, because some people are horrified at the thought of you tearing apart antique or vintage books. Some people are my husband would probably fall into this group. You do not, it's like book burning. You know, you cannot damage a book, right? But my philosophy is, by the time I get it, other people have had plenty of time to get these books and put them in their personal collection, and they haven't. They're sitting on a shelf somewhere. And so, by the time I get it, I don't feel too bad about cutting it apart, because then people can enjoy it in a new way. So, and it's not like I'm getting the only copy in existence. I mean, there's there's got to be, I don't know if the Library of Congress has a copy of every single book that ever existed. Probably not, because how would they have room? But surely somewhere has got, whether it's the publisher or something, has got, I know there was thoughts during the Holocaust that some books got lost forever. And obviously during fires, there have been lots of fires in courthouses and stuff. And so stuff has been lost, but I don't know. I just feel like by the time it gets to me, it's fair game. And some things I do add to my personal collection, but most things I don't. All right, so let's go through this other pack from her. Probably kind of see some of the same kind of things. Some more washi stickers. Some philosophy paper, but it's got some great coloring on it. So that would be great for collage kind of work. Some stuff from probably like a Time Life kind of space book, if I had to guess, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe all of these are from the same page or book. And we've got some archaeology. And then these look like they are probably, okay, these are 4 pages from Black Beauty with lovely images. Now these are kind of big for a junk journal, but you could, if you are doing sewn signatures, you could make this the center of your signature so that you can, you know, turn the book sideways and see the whole image. And some people do make big junk journals, but that's harder because there's not as many big books with the cool images. But this one definitely has, and somebody came in and wrote Black Beauty on all of them. Like, what is the deal with that? This one had it too. So I guess somebody was wanting to know that horse right there is definitely Black Beauty. Okay, I want to do the envelope part last. All right, so we have some more children's book pages. Look at that. That's a great cow. You could fussy cut that. That's even a good, oh, it's a goat, you guys. So I should be somehow creating a collage of goats, because my Etsy shop is Junk for Goats, and I should be like putting pictures of goats back here for my background. Wouldn't that be fun? That I should definitely be trying to do that. Okay, this looks like a kid's, well, obviously a kid's book, but this is another one of those, probably like a school book kind of thing where they're learning, but it's all peanuts. And then several more pages of the illustrated dictionary. You just can't go wrong with that, in my opinion. Oh, and then some more pages from like the Mother Goose type book. Those are great images. And some people do long skinny journals, which this would be great for, because then you could fold it in half and see it both, and then maybe if it was the center signature, then you'd open it up. But otherwise, like, oh, well, I wouldn't cut this one just because it's the same way. But otherwise, I was going to say you could just cut it in half, and then you have just a little book. Oh, this is fun. Would this have been from a catalog or a... It had to have been from a book, I guess. Maybe the... Oh, shoot. I wonder if Joanne would have had some of these for sale when they were going out of business, because this looks like, you know, when you go to the sewing section of a fabric store and they have all the books with the patterns in it. So I bet that's what these are from. Oh, I would love to find a book like that in the wild and pick one of those up. That's great, because for one, you could fussy cut these ladies out and make bookmarks. Some people do that. Now, granted, they're doing that probably more with the actual patterns themselves because they're smaller. But who doesn't like seeing some retro fashion? I love those. Oh, that isn't... I am really going to have to hope that someday I come across a book like that I can purchase. And I wish I would have thought of that for Joanne. All right, so then we've got the little envelope, and we've got some pretty delicate lace ribbons. And then we saw some, we saw some of these in the ones I did yesterday, which were from a totally different store. So these must be kind of a common either a scrapbooking thing or a Temu paper thing. We got some more of those children's cards. This time we also got some like regular playing cards, which, truth be told, 2 of these are going to go in my personal collection because I don't have these cards, and then one of them will go in my, because I've only got one, I can't really sell it in my swap shop, which is on Etsy. I sell vintage swap cards, so this will probably go into a box of things I can put in journals. But that is another good thing to put in kits. And then just another one of these. So I don't know, for $3 that seems like that was a good deal. I'm really happy about that. Like when I looked at it the first time, I don't know what I was thinking. If I just thought it came out of a magazine, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that it was patterns. So that's kind of fun. But I think that might have been the only kit that had those. Now, can I get it back in the plastic? That's the question. All right, so next I've got a, you know, books are my kryptonite. So I found the plants from the Nature Library, Nature Library. So it's kind of probably like the Time Life books. Let me see if I can figure out why I thought this was a good deal. It may have just been super cheap. Oh, look at that. That's fantastic. So I could have just opened to that page and been like, yes, please. But it's also got, like with something like this, you could cut each of them out individually and make journaling cards, or you could cut them out, like cut this whole strip across and then fold it and make a little booklet to go in a journal. Then there's some full color pages, which are glossy. Not my favorite, but it is a beautiful picture. So, oh, and look at this apple. Like if you were gonna do some people do color themed kits. So they would probably or the fruit. Some people do food kits, but this has, yeah, this has some great pictures in it. So great for fussy cutting, or even just cutting out the whole thing and making it a tag or a journal card. Yeah, so I love that. All right, and then the same place that I wheeled and dealed to get that box of canceled checks, I told you guys that she was then like, well, I've got all these binders under this table that have more paper in it, and I decided to buy all of those too. So this was my most expensive one-stop shop, so to speak, but I was in love. So I think I got 7 binders. Some of them were not very full, so she like put 2 of them together to be one. But I brought in 2 to show you, to kind of flip through, because the box was too heavy to bring them all, and you guys wouldn't have wanted to see every single one. But I brought in 2 of the biggest ones, okay? But let me figure out which way is up. So this way is up. And again, she bought these off of a different antique store, so I don't know that she ever herself did any messing with them. She might have bought them recently, I don't know. But whoever had owned them before had bought them from estate sales over time, like from business estate sale. Can you have a business estate sale? Well, I don't know. A lot of them were business receipts for different customers, so it wouldn't have been a specific person's estate sale unless they owned the store, I guess. But the person who had these had priced some of these items, like there's pictures in here from a flood that they wanted to sell for 10 bucks. And so my guess is that they would have had this binder just in their shop, and people would flip through it and buy whatever they wanted. But so it has some flood pictures, which, you know, living here in St. Louis, familiar with lots of flood, and obviously all the horrible, deadly floods that they've been having down south. Heartbreaking stories of floods, since we just happened to come across flood images. I don't want to discount that. And then some, like this little picture they had. I'm not going to pull everything out, don't worry. But this little picture, he was going to sell for 10 cents. I say he because she acted like the guy she bought this from was a guy, or the person she bought it from was a guy. So there's just, all the binders were similar yet different, but this is hard. This is hard to show this. It's kind of a bulky, but there's, you know, just pages of pictures, not very good pictures. And then we've got receipts, notes, like, I don't know, store receipts. So Jean chicken vending receipts. Pull a couple of those out. So I think like in each sleeve, the things were kind of related, and some of them were individually. Yeah, so he wanted to sell this for $2. It's I don't know how long he had it before she bought it, but I don't think he probably sold very many at those kind of prices. And some of them have the carbon still. But these are the kind of things where you can sell them in lots on Etsy, or you can make them you know, vintage and antique ephemera, because like this piece, oh no, wait. This piece is antique. It's from 1905. Look at the handwriting on that. I mean, that's fantastic. So you could put pieces like this in your junk journals that you sell to increase the value, because the older the ephemera you have, yeah, they wanted $5 for that check. The older the ephemera is that you have, the more you can charge for your junk journal. We have some, I don't know if these are like old driver's license. Oh, let me keep sliding down. I don't know, 1925? I think it is. State of Illinois license plate. So, yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if this is the original or just a copy. But I love little things like that. I've also got some tickets from A Country Christmas, 1988, A Country Christmas Dinner and Musical Review at the Opryland Hotel in the Tennessee Ballroom. I've been in that ballroom. You guys, it's funny. It's called the Opryland Hotel. Is that before they called it the Gaylord? There's other tickets from Opryland. I love tickets. Oh, now this looks like a driver's license from Indiana. It's not a photocopy or anything, so that's kind of cool. And all of my family is from Indiana. So that's nice just from a personal standpoint. So I'm flipping through just, there's more canceled checks. So what I'm going to end up doing with that big box of canceled checks is I'm going to go through and I'm going to organize it by decade. And then I'm probably going to sell kits where there's so many pieces from each decade in a kit. That way people get a variety of ages and styles in their kit, kit. So I'll have to go through these binders and pull out all of the checks that are in here instead of in those to make those dividers. But then there's also full page receipts in here, and this says, well, it's a letter. Somebody cut off the stamp, but 1890 on that. That's fantastic. Postal card. This is also 1890. Oh, it's really unfortunate that they cut the stamps off. That would have been a really, well, that one doesn't even have a postmark. So maybe it was just delivered in person. This one's also 1890. So that's a cool find. Now that would be pricey to find something that old. More full page receipts. And then some of your like typical store kind of receipts. So all different sizes. So yeah, I was blown away, and I felt very fortunate to have come across this stash and able to work out a deal with her. There's also pharmacy prescriptions. So I'll probably be creating a prescription kit too, because I've got some unused prescription pads that I could put some of that in. I've also got some unused drug labels, so I could make a whole kit of just, you know, kind of prescription kit, because I've got them in all different colors too, which would be fun. More envelopes from, oh, those are from 1935. There's this one must have been most of the prescription stuff, because I mean, just tons of them. More. So that's all, but all the rest of this is, oh, well, hold on. an old envelope that somebody had taped into a book at some point in time. Look, don't destroy. Thanks for your order. This is your invoice, but it's empty. So just the envelope. And then that page was empty. And then just some more receipts from 1988. All right, so that was the kind of stuff that was in this one. And then this one probably has the same kind of stuff too, but so more receipts. So I've got lots of different colors. So I feel like it's visually important to have different colors when you can in kits. There are also old letters. And I really am not sure how to store this stuff. Obviously, it's fine for now in these binders, but this one has a lot more of the full page receipts. But I don't know, I've got to figure out, I mean, people sell receipt packs on Etsy all the time. So I guess it's just a matter of, you know, creating some of those. Now these would have been like those old credit card kind of, although I don't see like this is from 1980, 82. So they're would probably, yeah, they're be kind of messy to deal with. So a lot of them are from feed mills. Just see if we've got anything. Some of them are like, there's one receipt per page, which is kind of weird, and they want $2 for it. 1947, I don't know, that seems kind of high price to me. Yeah, this one might mostly be like the full page. And here's a want list. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, whoever had this, they gave everything an item number and a price. This is like an ink blotter card maybe, because it looks like well, I mean, it was probably the back of a little booklet maybe. So maybe, you know, the part that you would put in between pages, because it looks like they used it as an ink blotter. There were also several binders that had like lots of insurance stuff. But these kind of raw materials are great to put in kits for other people that create junk journals, to give them some authentic, because some people, even though, I mean, I create digitals, but some people do not like to work with digitals. They only want to have the original product. And if I'm smart, some creamery receipts, if I'm smart, the things that are antique, I will scan and add them to my digital collection, and maybe I can make some of them freebies so that you guys can enjoy them too. Okay, so yeah, the rest is just more receipts. So this one was mainly receipts. So yeah, so that's what I ended up spending a lot of my midlife crisis money on, was in that shop, getting all that kind of authentic stuff. Okay, I've been sitting here cross-legged. My leg is falling asleep a little bit. Okay, let's do this one next. This was stuff I got off of eBay. if you watched my last video, I highlighted a shop. Shoot. Well, you can check it out. I linked to her shop in there, but she sells some, see, I'm always wanting to say Harry Potter, Peter Rabbit kits that have a book and they have some cards and some ephemera, which I think they're really cute. But when I saw that, I was really interested in the cards that she puts with them. Now, I have Peter Rabbit playing cards, but these were not that. And so I did some research and found that there was this giant picture card game, and that's where she had found one of these, I guess, and she's using them. And I thought this would be really cute if I ever do a Peter Rabbit themed junk journal. And so it's a matching game. So there's, I think, 2 or 4 of each image. And I got these from Amber's Allure Antique and Gift Shop. So I'll put this up here in case you want to check that out. See, that's smart. Every time I've used QR codes, they expire because I don't pay for a program that gives you QR codes. And so I don't use QR codes anymore because I don't want to pay for them. So yeah, there's 4 of each kind of character. I don't know the characters well enough, I'll be honest, even though I love these books. It's really Peter Rabbit that's the one that's nostalgic for me. So I'm not as familiar with all these characters. But presumably there is a book that goes with each of these. And I just thought this was great. So I was happy to find that. So yeah, so when I'm trying to research, like if you do your Google picture search, a lot of times that's how you can find it on eBay or Etsy, but usually some of this stuff it's easier to find on eBay once you figure out what it is. Sometimes that's half the battle. It's like, what even is that? To figure out how to find it. And then I also picked these up from eBay. I was wanting some circle cards, predominantly because I'm jealous that Hyper Stamper has these watch guard time dials. They're like, they had a contraption that they would hold on their belt or whatever that they would have to use to punch their time. And so it was like these round dials. And I was like, I really wanted round ephemera. So I found these 2 sets of cards. Now they're the same kind of design, but one is made in Hong Kong, I think. And one is, these are made in Hong Kong. And they both say Fabulous Las Vegas on them, and then this one, oh, these were made in Hong Kong too, but they're not the same, because like these are older than the red ones. So I was happy to find those. Now those probably will go in my vintage swap shop. But in the flea market, after I'd ordered those, I did find these. These are probably not vintage by any means. Oh, and they're really thin, but I don't know. I like having different shaped things. Obviously, I've got circle punches somewhere, so I could just create round ephemera, but I don't know. It seems more fun to get it already like that. All right, and then some more cards. I think this is the flea market box, if I didn't say that already, just based on the pricing. I don't have, oh, that opened quicker than I thought. Okay. Oh, these have never been used. There was one booth at the flea market that just had a ton of cards. And I looked through all of those. so that I could see. Oh, and it comes with little chips. So these will go in my vase that I got from the Dollar Tree that has all the random game pieces. Because people sell that, you know, sell random, I don't know, people must, I did order a drill during Prime days, and so that I could drill into things like that and add them as charms to stuff. Then I got this cute little deck. How do you, oh, it's taped. It's always taped. Okay, can I get just one card out? So these are the mini cards, and they look like this on the back, but then so those are cute. You can't go wrong with cards, in my opinion. Well, you can, okay? There's different ratings of cards, right? An old Hearts game. I love, love, love finding these old Whitman games. I mean, think of how great these would be for Easter kits. Well, some of them. And doesn't this take you back? Like, or is it just me? Or if you've got, you know, St. Patrick's Day kits, you could use these. Speaking of which, I found a deck of cards that was like a 4-color deck. It was called FORCOLOR, but it was 4 different colors. So the diamonds were orange and the clubs were green. Is this the pack? Oh no, that's not the pack. So maybe I didn't keep them up here where I could show you, but I kept the green clubs because of St. Patrick's Day. Okay, then this, ouch. Oh, this one's all glued up too. Well, these are not old, but they're kind of clear. So I thought those would be fun and stuff. And then there were just these kind of just loosey-goosey. So I picked these up. These are great to go in, well, these are already punched, but to go in journals, of course, or organization. Hi, let me take a brief moment out of our video to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Junk for Goats. Junk for Goats is my business where I sell and resell vintage, antique, and some modern ephemera for all of your junk journaling or crafting needs. I have shops on Etsy, Whatnot, and I list my digital items on my coffee shop. All of the links for those are below in the description, so please check that out. It's also important to note that 10% of all the proceeds from my sales are used to purchase goats from Compassion International. Those goats are provided to families across the world to help them meet their own families' needs in terms of their diet, but they can also take and sell the milk and the cheese that they produce from their goats to their friends and family nearby, helping to provide them with an income source that is valuable in the areas in which they live. So if you would like to craft with a difference, please check out the description below. And as always, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. And then this, some vintage stationery, and let me pull this out. Okay, so they're postalettes. You guys remember postalettes? So you would fold them like this, send them in the mail. I guess like postcard and letter put together to be postalettes, but I believe Hallmark was kind of known for this, but I love this kind of gypsy kind of style, Scandinavian kind of style, folk style, cottagecore style. But these were made from currant, so currant Current was a good source of that kind of stuff besides Hallmark. And then Hammond atlases are my favorite. So and it was only $2 it looks like, so I try to pick those up whenever I see them. Why are they my favorite? I just like the matte paper, and a lot of Hammond ones have no border. Now this one does. This one's probably a little bit older than I'm used to getting. 58. So I just like the color. Oh, there's Missouri. The color schemes that they have. So I have a hard time passing up those. And then just probably not very old. Always looking for dates, but ledger paper. And then now Sunset has a lot of gardening kind of books, and they're kind of hit or miss for me. But this one, it's not got any kind of like glossy paper, and it's mostly illustrations. Yeah, it's mostly illustrations. So almost like a dictionary. Well, is that what it says? Comprehensive Western Plant Encyclopedia. So I love, because you can, you know, make tags and stuff out of that too. And it's just full of those. Now, before the encyclopedia, then we've got, you know, kind of how to grow your stuff. Oh, so they do have some glossy pages in here. But, you know, wouldn't this be great in a garden themed journal? So I just like, and then I would still use these too. They're just not my favorite thing to use. I guess I feel like photographs don't look as old as illustrations. Even if the illustration's brand new, I feel like it still looks older. All right, then we've got some vintage lace. I very rarely get haberdashery, as Seven Plaza would say, because I don't really know how to use it. And this I probably would struggle with too, because it's not straight, but I guess you would kind of pull it taut and glue it down, and then you just get the ruffles. So I'd probably use it, I guess, on the side of a page, or maybe on the sticking out from the cover of a book. But I thought this one was really pretty, and it felt vintagey. It didn't feel like I could just pick it up at the Dollar Tree. And it was 2 yards and 25 inches. It looks like it was $3. Because I don't buy that stuff very often, I have no idea what good prices are for that. And then I picked up this trim, and it's stapled. Hold on. This one felt vintagey to me also, but I thought it would be it's a little stretchy, but I thought it would be much easier to attach something like this to the edge of a paper. Or you could make a tag if you folded it over and stapled it onto a page. Not a tag, a tab. Although it could be the tab on a tag. Say that 5 times fast. And then, oh, here I was just complaining the other day that I wish I could find cards like this, and here we go. That's not a good sign. How much did I buy that I do not remember what I bought? Well, a lot, unfortunately, because I'm stocking I'm being serious. If this is the first midlife crisis video you've watched on this channel, I'm trying to be very serious to really get turn my Etsy store into a legitimate, good business that can provide a decent part-time income, just to kind of, like if I were to lose my job, I don't know if I could find another job that would pay me as much as my job does now, kind of thing, right? And just for all those incidentals that come up. Oh, so these are like, are these all people? Well, this says amphibians. So, okay, well, I guess there's some tabs. So this is probably one of those clubs you could do by the mail that each month maybe they'd send you a new. But yeah, these are great. And they're, well, like not on that one. Oh, well, I guess, yeah, I bet it is. Or maybe this was just the starter sample, because you like in your first order, wouldn't you get all the tabs that you need, and then you'd eventually get either a variety of the cards to go in the tabs. What does this say? This is from 92. So it's got the information on the back, but like I can't tell. It just says nature, raw your ink. '96, so it's a variety of years in the 90s. So vintage. But so yeah, so I guess I gotta take back what I said. I did find some cards in the wild, but I want to find more of those cards like the one Kit had that were maybe from the 70s, because the 70s seemed to be a pretty popular time to do those recipe card style sets. Okay, why did I buy these? I don't know, except that they were pretty. I think I would like to collect dominoes. I know these are mahjong tiles, but I think I would like to collect dominoes because I've seen so many elaborate dominoes as I've been going through the antique stores, but no, I haven't done that. I need to wait till I'm like retired to do that. But I saw these and I liked the box that they were in, and it was $2, so I said sure. Now I don't know if this doesn't seem like enough mahjong tiles to play anything, and some of them look cracked, but I don't know, I thought they were cool. And then I haven't, for some reason I haven't picked up a Skip Bow card set yet, so I picked this one up, $2. And just in case you've never played Skip Bow, the cards kind of look like this. And they have some good patina on them. They've been well used, so they're creasy. So this is similar to Flinch, to where I would probably make up kits so that you got one of each number, you know, one of each different kind of card would go in a kit. That's how I would deal with that. Maybe kind of like the same way I would do Uno cards even. And then Trivial Pursuit memo holder. Okay, so I've never seen this before. A pad of paper, a Trivia Pursuit pad of paper. It does have trivia questions on it, but I thought this would be good for my kit that will have the game score sheets in it. Kind of like game papers. Okay, I want to get through this box on this video so I can move it out before I bring some new stuff in. All right, so then I found Post-a Note. Oh, right, I remember these from childhood. The postcards that already have the postage on them. Oh, and now I've never seen these before. So three that are a little older, and then you can still use these and add new postage to them, but I think these just would make cool cards in it, or page in a journal, depending on what size journal you're making. And I'm going to be making mostly Reader's Digest size journals, so you could even still have this as a page because you want different size pages to keep it interesting. All right, then vocabulary cards. When does it? 1949, the year my dad was born. And they're just like, I don't know if you'd call them flat. Well, I guess they're just vocabulary cards. So I guess you could make up a sentence. You'd have to find, doesn't that seem weird? But it was, I'm sure, a school thing. But so it's a full box of those. That felt like a good find. Like I said, I like finding little cards and stuff like that. Oh, once I get into the building of kits, that's going to be fun. Fun. And I have to get started with that soon. All right, and then I'm trying to build my Raggedy Ann collection just because I really like the artwork in these. Now, I do not think I'm going to keep these in my personal collection per se. I think that I will be breaking these down just because it's such, I mean, some of it is black and white, but there's just a lot of consistently great images between these Raggedy Ann books. So, and the covers are great, so these will become journals. So here's another one. So this first one, 1960, and this one, $1960. Okay, so maybe they were from the, I don't know, they don't look like they'd be from the same set, but who knows. And so just, yeah, I just really like these pages. So when I see, like, there were a lot of these, well, not a lot, there's like maybe 10 of these books in this particular stall, and I picked up 2. I'm not even, I should like try to make a list of the ones that I have so that I get more variety, but I haven't been smart enough to do that. All right, then this was super exciting. One of the favorite things I got, the grocery stamps, you guys. They had a, did I get any of those? Maybe I didn't. They had the books that well, I think the books they had were for other grocery stamp, like Eagle was one of the brands. And I already have some of those, so, but I found these, so I was super excited to find that. And then that same booth had a bunch of game score pads. So that one doesn't look, they don't look very easy to open, but let's try opening one. I have so many of these now, but they're all just a little bit different, which is great because then I can make my kits just a little bit bigger. And this one's nice because it's got the bank on it. There aren't very many of the ones I have that are like that, and it's green, so that'll be nice. So so I picked up, I didn't take them all, I probably should have. Oh, but this was $11.95, so that was super expensive. This one was only $5.95 or $5. Well, let's just look at this one just so we can see the difference. But these are great because, for one thing, there's lots of space to write on them. So it's just I don't know, it would get boring to have just scrapbook paper all the time in the journal, I think. Now, some people make really beautiful ones like that. So it's all a matter of taste. That's what's great about this craft, is that it can appeal to everybody because everybody's unique styles can be celebrated. All right, and then another score pad, another score pad. So I just made sure, I think she had multiples of each of those, and I just made sure to get one of each. And then woman. So I'm not sure, I've seen work basket, and I've seen Humpty Dumpty, but this has got some, okay, this has got the woman and coronet. So let's pull out one of the woman ones. I guess I'm hoping that there will be advertisements in here. This is from April, but what year? Is there a title or a table of contents page, or does it just go in? It just goes into, well, if I had to guess, I'd probably say the 50s. Like, I'm trying to look, there are ads, but isn't that weird that they don't have the year? But look at these great pictures. Maybe this is as old as the 40s. They did a lot of, the 40s and 50s, they do a lot of this single color kind of artwork. But even, oh, look at that. Even something as simple as this, right, would make a cool piece. Okay, well, this article is talking about 1936. Oh, and it's got, oh, the first Easter morning. Look at the artwork of that. So they have reprinted, let me see. Looks like they've reprinted the Easter story from John. That is really pretty. I'm trying to see if there's the Battle of the Bulges. Poor thing. But there's like menu plans. Yeah, so this might be older than I think, but I cannot tell. Like, even on some of these ads, you would expect to see, well, I guess they didn't really do, oh, copyright 1946. All right, so there is the woman's, and then the coronet. Especially bound in this issue, the new 1947 coronet calendar. So this one's pretty. You could laminate this, right, and make a journal cover. So this is, oh, The Strange Death of Heinrich Himmler. Himmler? I don't know. Bad. Oh, but look at, okay, so it's damaged, but look at this. That's beautiful. Doesn't really appear to have ads per se, but it does have some great artwork. Let's see if we can find that calendar. Oh, and it's got kind of like trivia or games in it. And some, okay, calendar. I want to find this calendar, see if it's still in here. Maybe that's the page that was torn out in the front, although I don't think so. I love finding old calendars because people, when I sell my junk journals, they'll be able to customize them, and maybe they will put in a specific date. That's a pretty common thing to customize. I'm not finding the calendar though. Aw. It says, specially bound in this new issue, the new calendar. Well, maybe it's missing some pages. Because yeah, I'm not seeing it, but I'm also not looking to see if I'm like missing a set of pages either. Oh yes, I am. I'm missing a whole set right here. It goes from page 28. There's pages that aren't to 84. So yeah, calendar was probably there. Oh, but this one says 1946 Coronet calendar. Let's see if it's actually in this one. The 1946 calendar and almanac. But are you gonna have those pages in it? It does. Oh, and they're so pretty. Oh, I love that. Oh, now I'm sad that I didn't get the other one. But okay, but you can see they're like super brittle. All right, we're almost done. I know we're getting high on time, and I've got, you know, the trivia. All right, so here was some stationery. No idea how old it is, but it's got birds on it, so why not? It says decorative writing sheets for the special notes you wish to include with your Christmas cards. Oh, I guess it does kind of have holly on it. All right, and then last is this exploring game. So I like picking up old games that are cheap for one, but then I can also harvest pieces from the box. But then this one also came with bunches of cards, and like, that's cool. I love that. So I just thought that it had some really neat cards. And then it's also got cards that look like this. So, you know, kind of boring cards, but still, you know, like your community and your community chest and your chance cards kind of. And then it's got a, move these. It's got this board that could be cut up, and this one, and this one. So 3 boards that can be cut up, which I just love that. I love, love, love that. So I try to look at, and this is from Parker Brothers. They almost always put the year 1963. So a game based on the NBC TV show Exploring. They also usually put somewhere, they usually put what, like Parker Brothers numbered all of their games. And so usually there's a place that has what the number is, but this one does not, that I can see. Because I thought about collecting that part of the box for my just personal collection. All right, well, that is it for the antique vintage flea market haul for this, for all the stuff that I'm using that I'm pre-funding with my midlife crisis. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm in midlife. I'm going to be 50 in November, and it feels really crazy that I went out and spent $10,000 on paper. So wish me luck. All right, you guys ready for nostalgic TV trivia? Is this our last question? Or am I going that? No? Shoot. Hang on. Let me see if I can. Nope, we haven't done that card. We did do that one. Okay, good. We still have a lot of questions to go. I had them turned because one side is blue and one side's brown, but a couple of them I accidentally have going the wrong way. All right, who was the Silly Wabbit? James Garner played Detective Jim Rockford on what series? In 1979, the name of the All in the Family series was changed to what? Where did Laverne and Shirley work? In what advertiser's commercials would you find the Hamburglar? What police series starred Carl Malden and Michael Douglas? What cartoon character's favorite exclamation is yabba dabba doo? Whose line is, ah, what's up, Doc? All right, I feel like this is a pretty good card. Now, I may not get all of these right, and I may miss some that are obvious, but I feel like there's several on here that I actually know. Okay, who was the Silly Wabbit? Well, Bugs Bunny, right? Looney Tunes? Let's cover up this ball. I see my dermatologist tomorrow in my timeline, so I'm gonna let her know that the minoxidil is not doing squat. And I've got some Flintstone chewable vitamins on my Walmart order so that I can, I'm gonna try to see if I can tolerate getting the iron that way, because Flintstones has one that's got extra iron, and that's probably mostly what my problem is right now with the hair loss. So I'm gonna try to eat like 2 or 3 of those a day. Like maybe I can tolerate that. But when I was taking those iron pills, oh no, that was bad news for my system. Okay, who was the Silly Wabbit? I would say Bugs Bunny. James Garner played Detective Jim Rockford on what series? The Rockford Files. In 1979, the name of the All in the Family series was changed to what? Well, it was like became Archie's Place or something, right? Because I can't remember, I've talked about this before. I can't remember if they killed off Edith or, you know, because all the people wanted to be done with the show, but he was still fine going on. And so it's either Archie's Place or the name of the tavern that he bought. But I'm going to go with Archie's Place. I'm just going to go with that. Where did Laverne and Shirley work? Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated. I'm thinking of the song. Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated, right? I think. I used to watch that after school all the time. I love that show. Until Shirley left. Well, actually, once they moved to California, it was not as good. In what advertisers' commercials would you find the Hamburglar? McDonald's. We've seen the Hamburglar on some of those McDonald's plates I've gotten lately. What police series starred Carl Malden and Michael Douglas? Now, this one I have no idea. Michael Douglas, really? Would this have been when he was like super young before he got into the movies? Or is it a different Michael Douglas? And Carl Malden is, well, he's probably dead by now, but I only ever remember him as an old guy. Was there a show just called Police? That's what I'm gonna say. What cartoon character's favorite exclamation is yabba dabba doo? Fred Flintstone, right? I think. And then whose line is, what's up, Doc? Well, isn't that Bugs Bunny too? So are there two answers on this card that are Bugs Bunny? All right, well, let's see how I did. Who was the silly wabbit? Bugs Bunny. James Garner played Detective Jim Rockford on what series? The Rockford Files. In 1979, the name of All in the Family series was changed to what? Archie Bunker's Place. So I'm taking that. I missed the bunker, but Archie Bunker's Place. Where did Laverne and Shirley work? Oh, Schatz Brewery, Milwaukee. Well, what's the thing in the song? The song doesn't say Schatz Brewery, does it? Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. Now I gotta look that up, you guys, because that feels, it's probably gonna say Schatz Brewery, but like, was Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated the only in the song? Well, here, let's just do this. Where did Laverne and Shirley work? Bottle cappers at the fictional Schatz Brewery. Well, what business is named in the Laverne and Shirley opening credits song? Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. Well, I feel like I should get that point. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. In what advertisers' commercials would you find the Hamburglar? McDonald's. What police series starred Carl Malden and Michael Douglas? That was The Streets of San Francisco. What cartoon character's favorite exclamation is yabba dabba doo? Fred Flintstone. And whose line is, what's up, Doc? It's Bugs Bunny. So, you guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we say I got Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated right, I got 7 out of 8. The only one I missed was The Streets of San Francisco. But even if we'd say that my answer didn't count, 6 out of 8 is fantastic for me. So I imagine you guys did good too, because, well, that was a pretty good card. So, all right, well, thank you once again for stopping by. And as far as when I start listing things, I've talked to several other Etsy sellers, and they recommended that I give my coupon codes to the people on my membership list. So I thought that probably was a good idea and a good way to grow my membership list. So in the link below, in the description, there is a link to sign up for my membership list, my email list, basically. And if you do that, I do gift you with a printable of these awesome, well, I think they're awesome, from my shop. And these are not available anywhere else. You can only get these if you join my mailing list. My vintage seed packs. And then the idea would be that I would send out an email before I list some new products, and there would be a coupon code to use on those new products. And so that's probably what I will do. So be sure to sign up if you're interested in getting discounts in my, air bubble, discounts in my Etsy shop. And I do sell digitals on my coffee shop, which is also in the description below. And I do have a freebie section in there. So even if you're limited on funds don't worry, there are, well, I think there's only 4 freebies out there right now, but every month when I do the digitals, when I create the digitals for my YouTube members, so I have 3 tiers of YouTube membership, if you're interested in that. The first tier is a conspiracy, because my last name's Crow and a group of crows is a murder. So my first level is conspiracy. Those, you get access to some emojis, not very many because I don't have very many members, and you can't get more emojis until you get more members. So that's what you would get for, and it's really just a way to support the channel. But then the middle level is my is my attempted murder, and they get digitals each month as part of the perk for that. And then the murder club gets a bigger kit of digitals. So if you're at all interested in getting my monthly digital, I do list those in my coffee shop too, so you can just buy them outright. But if you're interested in getting them for free, I guess it's not really free if you're becoming a member, because there's a cost associated with that. But that's that way it's well, I don't know. That's what you get if you become a member. So I just wanted to let you know that there were those tiers out there. And so yeah, so some different things you can sign up for if you're interested. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check back in. I will be doing multiple more videos on this midlife crisis hauls, where I spent the $10,000 to get all of these things. And the trick is going to be figuring out which things in the house I've already hauled, because we've literally had to stash them everywhere to find space. But I will be back with more of those videos, so stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. And wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.